In this video, I will show you the Italian cast-off. This cast-off is worked with a tapestry needle. Like the Italian cast-on, it is designed to go with a 1x1 ribbed fabric to provide a very stretchy edge. Once you are finished knitting your 1x1 ribbed edge, you will have to trim your working yarn to finish with a tapestry needle. To measure how long your strand of yarn needs to be, it should measure about 4 times the length of your ribbed edge. Don't forget to leave a little bit extra though, as you'll still need to weave in the ends when you are done. Once you've cut your working yarn, it's time to grab your tapestry needle and thread it with your yarn. To set up the bind off, you need to stick your tapestry needle through the first stitch that's on your knitting needle. It needs to go through the first stitch purlwise. Once you pull the yarn through, you'll want to bring the yarn to the back. Next, you take your tapestry needle and stick it between the first and second stitch. So you're not going through either of those stitches, you're just going right between them, and then you bring your yarn to the front. And then you go through the second stitch on your knitting needle knitwise and pull the yarn through to the back. So you go through the stitch and then pulling the yarn through to the back of the work. Now that we've completed the setup, I will go through the 5 steps that you'll need to keep repeating to do the bind off. First, take the tapestry needle and stick it knitwise through the first stitch. After you pull the yarn through the first stitch, you're going to take that stitch and slip it off the knitting needle. Don't forget to pull the yarn tight a little bit to keep it looking tidy. Next, you're going to take the tapestry needle purlwise through the second stitch. The third step is to take the tapestry needle purlwise through the first stitch. And then once you pull the yarn through, you're going to take that stitch and slip it off your knitting needle and pull the yarn tight. Then for the fourth step, we're going to bring the yarn to the back of the work and stick the needle between the first and second stitch and bring the yarn through the 2 stitches to the front. Then the final step is to take the needle knitwise through the second stitch on the knitting needle and bring it through to the back again. Now you keep repeating these 5 steps over and over again to complete the bind off. So let's go over them one more time. So for step 1, we're going to go knitwise through the first stitch and we're going to take that stitch off. 2, we're going to go purlwise through the second stitch. So not the first stitch like I almost do here, but the second stitch. Step 3 is to go purlwise through the first stitch and then take the stitch off the knitting needle. Step 3 is to go, or step 4 rather, is to bring the yarn to the back and take the needle between the first and second stitch. And then finally, step 5, We're going to go knitwise through the second stitch and bring the yarn to the back. So we're going to keep repeating these steps until we get to the very last stitch on the knitting needle. So I'm almost at the last step here. I'm just about to slip the second to last stitch off the knitting needle. And for the last stitch, we simply take the needle through the stitch purlwise, then take the stitch off the needle and pull the yarn tight. You can see the result is a very stretchy fabric edge, and it's seamless with the 1x1 rib through to both sides. So it's a great choice for a stretchy bind off for your ribbed edges.